Hey there, everybody. It's your old pal Michael. Welcome to a special edition of Sports Talk. We'll be talking about Peyton Manning retiring today. It was announced and leaked over the weekend that Peyton Manning would announce his retirement on Monday. Well, that day has arrived, and I am here to reflect on Peyton Manning's career. We'll talk about his stats, his career stats, basically what his career has been like, and then I'll give my personal reflections on my favorite Peyton Manning moments. As you can see, I'm wearing my Super Bowl 50 champions gear today. I did not wear my Peyton Manning jersey. That's just because of the fact I'm going out for a run after this, so it'd be a little easier to run in this since it actually is warming up out there. If it was still cold outside, I would probably definitely wear the jersey, but this is a little bit lighter and more loose to wear. But obviously, Manning is going out on top, winning Super Bowl 50 with the help of his teammates. You don't win a Super Bowl all by yourself. His teammates really helped him to win this one. And he's going out on top just like John Elway did when he retired from the Denver Broncos. He won 2 straight Super Bowls and then retired. So John Elway went out on top. Peyton Manning is going out on top as well. Peyton Manning, of course, played college ball at the University of Tennessee and did not win the Heisman Trophy. Charles Woodson won that back in 1997. I wasn't really disappointed with that because I'm a Michigan fan, and so I was glad that Charles Woodson won it. Manning was then drafted in the 1998 draft by the Indianapolis Colts as #1 pick. Everybody back in the day was debating, well, do we take Ryan Leaf or do we take Peyton Manning? Nowadays, you don't even discuss that because there's an obvious choice. You would take Peyton Manning. So the Colts made the right choice in getting Manning. I was not an Indianapolis Colts fan. I did like Peyton Manning, but my team has always been Denver. I like the Titans as well, and I like the Detroit Lions. Yes, I do like 3 different teams. One from my home state, and then just one because I liked John Elway, and the other one was because of the fact I liked the Titans when they had McNair and Eddie George, and I still like the Titans today as well, just like I still like the Broncos. So I wasn't a Colts fan. I did not convert to being a Colts fan, but I did like watching Peyton Manning play. It wasn't until I was really super excited when he got to Denver, but I still did like watching him play. Watch him get a Super Bowl victory. I remember over the Bears. That was in like Super Bowl 41, I believe. So Manning, like I said, drafted by the Colts 1998 with the first overall pick. He played with the Colts until 2011 when he parted ways with them and then played with Denver from 2012 until 2015. The reason why, of course, the Colts didn't bring him back was because Peyton Manning at the time had his neck surgeries. He had 4 different surgeries to repair that. He sat out an entire season because of that, and at that time his future was pretty uncertain whether Manning was going to play again. That was a question back then. Would he be able to come back from all these neck surgeries? Well, he proved that he could. Denver took the chance. Denver brought him in. John Elway even said, if you come to Denver, you will be a Super Bowl champion, and that happened in his last year. Manning did lead to Denver to 2 Super Bowls in those seasons he was with Denver, so that was good. Although, he only did win 1, but, this year he had a lot better defense. Playing his brother, Eli, Manning was undefeated against him. He was 3-0, so Eli never got the upper hand against his older brother, Peyton. Manning was 6-11 versus Tom Brady. That's including the playoffs. But it seemed to be when Manning and Brady scored off in the playoffs, Manning did kind of seem to have a little bit of an upper hand versus the regular season. Now, there are a lot of stats to run down here. First off, like I said, 2-time Super Bowl champion. He was Super Bowl MVP in Super Bowl 41. AFC champion 4 different years, MVP 5 different years, 2003, 2004, 2008, 2009, and 2013. 14-time Pro Bowler, 7-time first-team All-Pro Bowl, 3-time second-team All-Pro Bowl, 2-time AP Offensive NFL Player of the Year. That was in 2004 and 2013. Of course, he set the record for touchdown passes that year in 2013, so he explains why his MVP and Offensive Player of the Year that year. NFL Comeback Player of the Year in 2012, of course, coming back from his neck surgeries. Passing touchdown leader in 2000, 2004, 2006, and 2013. 3-time NFL passing yards leader, and he was Pro Bowl MVP in 2005. Indianapolis Colts career leader in wins, passing touchdowns, pass attempts, pass completions, and passing yards. We'll have to see if Andrew Luck actually ends up breaking all that. NFL all-time leader in career touchdown passes, passing yards, and wins. He was voted to the NFL 2000s All-Decade Team. He was Sports Illustrated Sportsman of the Year in 2013. That, of course, is because of the year that he had the phenomenal season, throwing over 50 touchdown passes with the Denver Broncos. So for his career, he had 6,125 completions on 9,380 attempts, 539 touchdowns to 251 interceptions, threw for 71,940 passing yards, and had a passer rating of 96.5. What an incredible career Peyton Manning has had. I mean, you can't, I can't just put it into words all by myself. And it's going to take, words from all the fans, his teammates, people he's played against, coaches that have coached against him, coaches that have coached for him, that could fill the whole story in on Peyton Manning. So he's just had one of the best careers in NFL history. Does he go down as one of the best quarterbacks ever? Yes, he does. Is he the greatest quarterback ever? Well, he leads a lot of career passing categories, so I would have to say yes. I'm going to say it. Peyton Manning is probably the greatest NFL quarterback of all time. That is of now. Of course, someone could come, down in the future and prove me wrong and be better, but, that hasn't happened yet. I mean, we all have these debates, who's the best of all time. In the NBA, people say it's, Michael Jordan. Others are saying, Kobe Bryant. Others say LeBron James. This debate goes on and on. NHL, you got Wayne Gretzky. Others say Gordie Howe. So, I mean, there's always going to be that debate who's the best player of all time. I'm going to say, yeah, best quarterback of all time. There could be definitely players that are better at their other positions, like Jerry Rice, best wide receiver of all time, most likely. But you could definitely say Joe Montana could be considered best quarterback of all time as well. So in that 2013 NFL season, Peyton Manning threw tons of touchdown passes. Like I said, he had over 50 touchdown passes in that season. I think he ended up with 51 is what he ended up with. So that was the year, of course, the Denver went to the Super Bowl, and everyone thought they were going to roll over the Seahawks, and it didn't happen. The Seahawks rolled over them. But, yeah, that was one of the greatest offensive shows that we've definitely seen when he had 51 touchdown passes that season. Of course, you got to remember, too, he broke Brett Favre's record for touchdown passes, and then, of course, I believe he broke the career passing record, too, for most yards. Yes, and that happened this year against the Chiefs before he got injured. So just talking about this year, I mean, it was a weird one for Manning. He struggled, then he got injured, and Brock Osweiler came in, and Osweiler did pretty well. And then Manning replaced him in Week 17, which, I think kind of like fired up the Broncos because they, with a win, they needed to win to get home field. They did. They got in the playoffs, with the home field advantage, and then, they took care of business. They beat the Patriots in the AFC Championship game. They beat Pittsburgh, of course, in the round before that, in the divisional round. And, of course, both those games scared me because Pittsburgh had come back to beat Denver already that year. And, of course, New England seemed to have Denver's number once in a while. But then the playoffs, it seemed Denver could take care of them. And then the Super Bowl game really scared me as well, just because of the fact Carolina had been playing outstanding coming in. I had talked about hopefully the NFC Championship game was the best game they played all season, which I think it was. And, Manning didn't play great, but he did what he needed to do to lead his team to victory. He was efficient. Yes, he did throw one interception in that game, but otherwise he was definitely efficient. He was a team manager at that point, basically, is what you would say. Managing, the clock, managing the game instead of trying to do it all himself. So, early in his career, Manning could try to do a lot of things himself, but later in his career, this past season, obviously, he had to rely more on his teammates to help him out. So, Manning just did a really good job with that aspect. So, what are some of my favorite Peyton Manning moments? Well, obviously, I'm going to go with Super Bowl 50 being one of them. Winning that, I kind of figured this was going to be his last year anyway, so I'm glad to see him win one more time. I'm glad to see my team win another Super Bowl, their third overall. Peyton Manning's second Super Bowl. And by the way, he's the only quarterback in NFL history to win a Super Bowl with 2 different teams as well, so he can hang his hat on that also. He's also been to the Super Bowl with 4 different head coaches, obviously. Gary Kubiak being this year's, and then a couple years ago was John Fox. He's been there with Tony Dungy as well with the Colts. And I'm trying to figure, who's the other coach for the Colts at the time? That might have been Jim I think it might have been Jim Caldwell. Might have been the other coach that I'm trying to think of. The one where they lost to the Saints. That might have been Caldwell. But anyways, yeah, that's definitely one of my favorite moments, him winning Super Bowl 50 this year. Obviously, setting the single season record with passing touchdowns, breaking Brett Favre's record, setting the most passing yards. Those are all really great moments as well. I just remember watching I believe it was 2013. I believe that was the year he set, all the passing records with the single season record with the 51 touchdowns, and that was the year he started off with like 7 touchdowns in one game against the Ravens. And I just remember, getting all excited, getting ready to watch Denver play, and then here they go and they score 7 touchdowns in the opening game, and that to me was really exciting. I was like, wow, we're in for one special season. Of course, in the Super Bowl was a disappointment, but it was one special season for Manning. But that was really just exciting to see. It just jaw-dropping, seeing a quarterback throw 7 touchdown passes in one game. I probably will never see that again. I mean, it's just hard enough to throw, maybe 3 or 4 in a game, let alone 7. Some of those are some of my favorite Peyton Manning moments. Of course, watching him win Super Bowl 41 was a great moment as well. So, and one other, in the AFC Championship game when he rushed for 10 yards on one play, he scrambled, he got outside the pocket, and then he just took off scrambling, which is something you never saw Manning do really, because he wasn't one that took a lot of big hits. I mean, especially after his neck surgery. I mean, you could just think if he took the hit in the wrong place, his career could be over. And for him to just get outside and scramble and get a first down to do what was needed, you could tell he wanted to go out on top. He wanted to win one more Super Bowl, and he was putting it all out on the line. And he got the 10 yards, and he got a first down. And oh my gosh, it was one of my favorite plays to see. It brought a big smile to my face. Even though, like I said, all it was a 10-yard run. That was it. But great moments, great memories for Peyton Manning, watching him play in Indianapolis, and obviously coming to my team, Denver, helping them win. I mean, what a fantastic career. I wish Peyton the best. What's he going to do next? A lot of people have been talking about him being involved with a football team and ownership, working in the front office of a team. I think it would suit him well. Obviously, since he's been around football his entire life, he's not going to just walk away from this and, just do commercials or do something, or just go into the sunset and never be heard from again. He's still going to be heard from, obviously, even if that is just, being at a front office or being in ownership of a team. Could I see him going to broadcasting? Probably not, but maybe he could be a color commentator for, one of the networks, but we'll have to see on that. So I'm thinking more front office ownership type deal could be coming down the line for Manning after he retires. Maybe not right away. Maybe he starts in TV and then works his way there after a year or so. We'll have to see. But Peyton, wish you the best. Hopefully everything goes well, and thank you for a fantastic 18 years in the league for number 18. Can't say enough about what you've done for the sport of football, for the NFL. I mean, think about it in Indianapolis, in the state of Indiana. You've created a culture there where a lot of people had babies and then named them Peyton because of you. And then the sport of football really took off in the state for like high school football. So, you've really influenced a lot of people across the country and, of course, all over the world. And we can't thank you enough for all of your accomplishments that you have achieved. So, tip of the cap to number 18, Peyton Manning, on a fantastic career. So, thank you for watching, and thank you for subscribing. If you haven't subscribed, You can subscribe to my channel for more content. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram. Links are in the description below. And just to let you know, next Monday we'll be doing an episode about the NCAA tournament, talking about the bracket that has come out and revealing what my picks are for the tournament. So until again, next Monday for Sports Talk, this is Michael Loudon, over and out, bidding Peyton Manning a fond farewell.